Hi everyone, Cendril here. Welcome to another day in Stardew Valley. Beautiful sunny day tomorrow. Spirits are in good humor today. That's good. Woman living off the land. Bagging with another tip for y'all. Now listen up. Here's an idea. Start a wild tree orchard. Put tappers on those trees and harvest the valuable syrup. Or don't. See if I care. I need to do that more, but... Good morning, Cendril. I made you a hot breakfast. Oh, thank you. Made hash browns. Crispy and golden brown. 90 energy, 36 health, 1 fart. Sweet. Thank you very much. Melon. Today I'm going to be talking about Valkyria Chronicles Combat. Now that I think about it, even if you haven't played, hopefully you tried to watch this anyway, and I said see you in like 2 episodes, but you checked out this episode anyway, to see if I'm still talking about it. You can stay for this one, because, I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm just going to talk about the combat. The combat in Valkyria Chronicles is amazing. It's hard to explain. Man, the chickens hide well in the grass. It is a wonderful mix of real-time and turn-based strategy. So, for those of you that don't know, the way combat works in Valkyria Chronicles is you get a map of the entire battlefield, and you can see where your units are from symbols. So you like hover over them and it says the unit's name. And you can see the enemy as symbols on the map too, if you have line of sight to them. Like if you've seen them, if a unit can see them. You get a certain amount of command points. These are like turns you get to have. So let's say I have 3 command points. To move a unit takes 1 command point. That's the turn-based part of it. Now, once I choose a unit to move, then you scroll down to the unit, and it becomes like a third-person shooter in a way. You move around, just like you would. It's action style. You push up on the left stick, and you move up. You move around. Then every unit can fire once during their turn. So you can like move up with your AP. You have an AP gauge, and that determines how far you can go. Then you can take your shot when you go to aim, and you get a reticle, and time stops. So you get to like aim. So then it becomes kind of turn-based again, and then you fire. And when you fire, you get a reticle, and then you see if you hit or not. Because certain weapons have better accuracy than others. Some weapons are better, at close range. So it has, a little bit of shooter mechanics. Not a lot, because, it's not like real-time shooting or anything. Like I said, when you go into the aiming reticle, time stops, you get to line up your aim. But it's such a fantastic mix of this, of turn-based strategy, and then real-time, moving around. I want to see this back in some game. Because it's such a phenomenal, fun system that's rewarding on both sides. Okay, which units do I move? Where do I spend my command points? And there's other things you can do with command points, like give orders, and there's some other things you can do with command points. But the main thing you do is you move units. And I would like to see that the system brought back, because you have the turn-based and you have the strategy to it. Okay, what units do I bring? Where do I begin placing them? Where do I move them? Where do I want to spend my command points on? And then you have that action part to it, where it's like, okay, now I'm in control of the character. I want to get behind these sandbags. Gotta move the character here. Get behind the sandbags. Do I take the shot now? Do I try to move up? Keep an eye on their HP. you know, it's a great blend. It's hard for me to explain because it's so unique. No other game does this. Has the system of Valkyria Chronicles, and it's a shame because it's a fantastic system. It needs to be brought back. Some game needs to make a Valkyria Chronicles type system. Now, I think Valkyria Chronicles is better on a console than on a mobile console. So I think it would be better for a game like that to be on console and PC. Not mobile, because, like I said, VC2 didn't work very well on mobile to me, along with its other things. The combat in Valkyria Chronicles is unique. I think one other game tried to do it, and it was not a good game. I remember that. I can't remember the name of the game. I just remember, I think there was one other game that tried to do it, and it wasn't very good. Because the controls were really wonky. The controls in Valkyria Chronicles were sharp. They felt really good. I made cheese yesterday, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to see, you know, a similar control scheme. And, I'd love to see the combat system back. Like, I really do. I want the combat system from Valkyria Chronicles to come back, because it's a great system. You know what? Now that I think about it, I have a, stream going on right now. In fact, the day this comes out, which will be tomorrow for me, it'll be tomorrow for you from last episode. It'll be Sunday, which means I streamed The Last Remnant. So, you see how that works. I'm going to stream The Last Remnant tomorrow, but by the time you see this episode, I'll have streamed The Last Remnant again. That game should have had the system. Like, it has a pretty good combat system right now. It's okay. It has quite a bit of RNG to it that I can see. It's important to me that you leave here with a full belly. Thanks, Penny. The combat is pretty good. It could have used a system like Valkyria Chronicles. Like, not the entire thing, but like Valkyria Chronicles. You could have used the whole, like, it's semi-turn-based anyway. You could have had it be turn-based and, like, let me, like, decide where I'm going to move a unit, how I'm going to use move a unit. You could have used a few of the elements from Valkyria Chronicles and make The Last Remnant even better. Now, I know it's more RPG, less strategy, so you couldn't do everything because combat would take way too long. But some of it, just a few aspects of Valkyria Chronicles combat, you could have put into Last Remnant and would have made it even better. Just thought of that. So a lot of the blueberries. We have blueberries. Yeah, that would have, I think that could have worked out really well. Anyway, no game that I know of has come out with the combat. Well, like I said, other than that one game, I can't remember its name. I remember one other game. There may be some others. If there are, let me know. I'd love to try them. That have combat like Valkyria Chronicles. And I'll never understand why that system never got brought back in any game. Some game used that system of combat because it's really good. It's really well done. Like for a strategy game, to have a strategy game like that, because because of the whole action part, after you spend your turn, like, which unit am I going to move? I'm going to use CP to move this unit. And then getting that action where you actually move the character around. You choose when you're going to fire. Or, you know, what is that unit going to do? You choose what that unit's doing. But, you know, on the fly, it was a beautiful blend of action and turn-based. And I've not seen a strategy game do that. And some strategy game needs to do that. While I love Fire Emblem, and I love Fire Emblem. And I love real-time strategy games. Somebody needs to bring the Valkyria Chronicles type combat back. I don't care who it is. I don't care what company. Somebody needs to bring that combat back because it's phenomenal. I don't think we'll see it, but like I really don't. I don't think we'll ever see that type of combat again. And it is a huge shame. I did not mean organize. Unorganize it. That's not exactly how I had it, but it's close. I meant to hit this button. Red snapper, tuna. So I have the tuna and red snapper now. Lake fish bundle. I need sturgeon, but I don't know if I can catch them right now. Now I've lost. Oh, trick! I thought that threw me off. Yeah, the combat in VC1, phenomenal. Is it somebody needs to bring that system back? I don't know who, but man, somebody does because I do. I miss that combat system. It was unique, and it just played really well. Like, I really did. Let me tell you this. I love Valkyria Chronicles 1. When that game came out on the PlayStation 3, I just got it on a whim. I was like, oh, this looks and sounds fun. And then after playing it, you know, between the characters, the story, between everything, the story is firmly one of my, you know, all-time games. It always will be. It'll always be a game that I point to and say, that is a fantastic game that everybody should play and at least give a try. It's one of those games to me. Like, you have to try Valkyria Chronicles. For me, it will always be just an all-time great game. Fantastic game. Phenomenal game. Now, the combat is one of the things that really set it apart from me. And I really did. I thought this. Because it's not that old of a game. It was PlayStation 3. And then I played it on Steam, is how I Let's Played it. But when I got through playing Valkyria Chronicles, I thought, this is it. This is going to be the next evolution of strategy. Like, this will be its own genre of strategy. Like, people will take this idea of this mix between turn-based with, like, command type points, where you only get, so much during your turn you can do. We'll take the mix of that strategy with the action part of it, and that will be a whole new subgenre of strategy. I really believe that, and it never took off. So I would love... Valkyria Chronicles recently got remastered. I believe it's only on PlayStation 4, but it's the remastered edition. You can still get Valkyria Chronicles on Steam, and it's phenomenal. But it was recently remastered, so I'm hoping all these people that maybe missed out on Valkyria Chronicles the first time, that have seen, like, my Let's Play of it, I know that'd be a very small amount of people, but have seen maybe some bigger channels that have done it, you know, bigger than mine, that have done Valkyria Chronicles, get to experience this game. And I'm hoping that maybe sparks some developer out there to use the combat system, to bring it back. Like, I really hope so. And the sad part is, I think this isn't it's kind of an intricate combat system, because you have that mix of turn-based and... Like, the turn-based part, I think indie developers could do. They could do the turn-based part. But then the 3D moving around shooter type, or action type aspect... No, I shouldn't say shooter, because it's not like that. But to get those mechanics right may be hard for an indie developer to do. But I'd love to see some developer, like I said, bring it all back. Bring that combat system back, because it's fantastic. I really did. I thought it was going to be like a whole new subgenre, because the combat system was so good. I was like, everybody's going to use this, and I'll be fine with that, because it was so much fun. And then everybody, you know, have their spin on it. But that never happened, to my knowledge. And it's very sad, because I really did think... Wow, got a diamond. I really did think it was going to... I said, be this whole new subgenre of strategy games, and it never happened. So I want it back. I want that system back, because let me tell you, it's fantastic. And it really does need to be brought back in some form by somebody. Somebody needs to bring the VC1 style of combat back. Or just the Valkyria Chronicles series in general, because the combat didn't change that much. There is one thing I liked about Valkyria Chronicles 2, and it's they added, like, more classes for characters to be. With, like, more... They put in more weapons, more playstyles that way. Which is good. I'd like to see that brought back. Having these kind of like class trees that VC2 did. You really did get some RPG style elements in these games too, because you had HP, you had your AP as you leveled up the squads. I mean, it was in VC1 it was very minor RPG elements, but they were still there. You got EXP that you spent on your units. You had equipment that you could upgrade. In VC2, they did more with that, which was really good. So I'd like to see even more RPG elements thrown in. And if you could get that combat right, some developer, you bring that combat system back and do it well, like Valkyria Chronicles did, and add in some RPG elements, I will give your game a shot. Period. Like, I'll definitely give it a try. And if you can get a compelling story and super compelling characters like VC, with the way social media is these days, I think you could have a real hit on your hands. Like, you could have something that becomes a classic for years, maybe even decades to come. Like, I think, like, to me, Valkyria Chronicles, when did VC come out? Let me see. I'm pulling this up on my phone as we speak. 2008. So it's almost 10 years. It's let's see, when 2000. Trying to do this fish at the same time is not easy. Thankfully, that fish was. Let me see when this came out. It came out April. Let's see. It says April 2008. So it's over 8 years old now, and I think it's there's still an experience that you don't get an experience like it. So it really will be one of those guys. Whoops! Didn't pay attention at the time. It will be one of those experiences that people will always remember to me. And it's a classic to me. Valkyria Chronicles is a classic. And if you think the game isn't old enough to be a classic, then it will be a classic when the game is when the game is old enough to you. Like, it's just a game that is above the rest. It's a phenomenal game. And again, I'd love to see some developer, somebody try to bring that style back of combat, because it really was phenomenal. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you had a lot of fun. It's something I would love to see brought back. I really would. I just think it's so well done that, and again, nobody that I know of that I can really think of has really tried to bring it back. And I'd love to see more of it in some iteration, because it was really, really good. No clue what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I hope you enjoyed this and had a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, or if you have a question you'd like to ask me. Until the next episode, I'm Cendril 9. Remember to shoot for the stars, and take care, everyone.